Welcome and thank you for joining us in another SOWN Series highlight reel. Today we're chatting with Ami Gatts, Director of the Southwest Corner Workforce Development Board. Welcome, Amy.
Thank you.
So Amy, as you know, SOWN primarily works with small and medium-sized manufacturing companies in Pennsylvania. We pride ourselves on making sure those companies know what resources are available to help them succeed. What are some of the main services these companies can get from your organization?
I was going to say, I think probably I would like to talk mostly about probably our OJTs, our on-the-job training contracts. So for employers who are hiring new people and want to, put them into a position where there might be a learning curve or there might be some need to kind of learn the process of the company, we can do an on-the-job training. That's up to $8,000 for the first 6 months, whichever comes first.
Nice.
They just do a simple training plan with us, and we determine the eligibility of the participant, and if they're eligible, it's very simple, short, sweet, and then we just reimburse them for 50% of the wages all the way through until they hit either the 6 months or the 8,000. Which we do incumbent worker training. So for that's for the current workforce. So maybe they have some staff that they want to offer training to, and it would result in a wage promotion, a wage or a promotion, I should say. And what that means is, they say they want to send somebody for some sort of laser, machine, and they have 10 people that they want to send. So they could come to us, and depending on the size of the company. So if it's 25 or less, we would pay 90%. If it's 25, I believe to 50, it's 75%. And that, I think I went the wrong way. No, that's right. And then over that is only 50%. So the least we would pay is 50%. And we just reimburse them for that training. They can use any trainer. It can be in-house. It can be someone outside. It could be online. And then we'll reimburse them for 50% of that. And the goal of that is that they train those people. Like I said, they get a promotion or a wage gain, and hopefully it creates a position, an entry-level position for somebody else to come into, which if it did, we could also, again, check the eligibility of that person and see if we could support them with an OJT. So those two kind of go hand in hand with employers who are looking to train their current workforce and open up new spots. And then, of course, we do customized job training. So if a company comes and they need a training that's really unique just to them and nobody else would be able to join in on that, again, they would just write a plan for us. We would get it approved, and then we could pay the same thing. It would be based on the size of the company. Three ways that we can, that's what we do with our normal funding, what we call our formula funds. And then we have an industry partnership for manufacturing. Right. So through that, we can also support training. It's a little different. They send in, we usually do a matrix, and they all of the companies tell us, I'm looking for, this training, this training, this training. And then we try to connect them. Not too long ago, we had about 9 of our companies go together. They needed some electrical training, and they each only had 1 or 2 people, which can be expensive if you can't fill the classroom, because generally they charge by the classroom. So it turned out they all had, I think about 16 people ended up going from the 8 or 9 companies. It started out, the cost was going to be, I believe, like $1,650. By the time we did industry partnership and some other things, I think the cost per person was like $149.
Oh, wow.
So when you kind of get into those kind of, bring those groups together, can bring the cost down, and then, we can support it that way. So to me, those are 4 of the ways I think that we support our employers. And then outside, if we're not talking about funding, we can connect them if they have, we had a group that actually had a permitting problem. And so we connected them with the proper groups, to help them do that. Industry partnership serves as a very good way for our industries to kind of collaborate and share, not only the challenges, but even opportunities. So during COVID, we had one of our companies had a lot of PPE. He was like, hey, I'm happy to send it out to you guys if you need it. And they did share it with some of the other companies. So there's a lot of opportunities for those groups to find their synergies and try to figure out, how to support each other and kind of keep moving. So
right. Now, do you have any limitations as far as the size of the companies? Do they have to have X number of employees?
No
restrictions?
No, they just have to be, so for our formula funds, they have to be, obviously, manufacturing is one of our high priorities. So as long as they're deemed a manufacturer. And then for the industry partnership, it's kind of the same thing. It's just, it has to be manufacturing. So yeah, there's not really any limitations for any of that. The only limitation would be, like I said, for the OJT, it is on the person. So the person has to be eligible. But beyond that, other than that, they just have to be in our area and wanting to be doing some training. And we've even worked outside of our county a little bit. You know, if somebody doesn't have a manufacturing IP, we can support manufacturers through that as well. And we have a really good relationship with Partner for Work in Westmoreland, and we all kind of work together. So
Right.
I feel like it's a good fit.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, thank you.
Another benefit to working with the workforce board. So we have the Pennsylvania Career Links. So inside of those career links are a lot of partners who also have resources, but we do a lot of hiring events. So if we have an employer who is looking for a specific job, say, and they're like, hey, I just need this one position, you know, it's 10 positions, but it's just one job. We will do like an individual hiring event for them. So we'll put it out there, we'll put it on, you know, put it out there and say, hey, on, you know, November 12th, come in, sit down and talk to company ABC. They're going to be here on site. And so then they come. And then when those people come in, they interview them on site. You know, we've had people where they've hired them on site. So it's been very successful for us, not just the big job fairs, but the individual hiring events. And I think employers are starting to see a lot of value around that, because at a job fair, you know, everybody's looking for everybody, but at a hiring event, they're only looking for the job. So they're only coming if they're very interested in your job. So we've had a lot of success with our companies, not just in manufacturing, but all the way around. So there are a lot of services through our career links that can really help our employers that they're probably not aware of. We can help like interview, we can help weed people out, you know. Right now, unemployment, everybody's required to do a job search. And I know that's a nightmare for our employers, because a lot of times they're applying for jobs that they have no intention. So an employer can reach out to us and say, hey, would you be able to screen some of these for me? Then we can look at it and see, you know, if it's a nurse, and I mean, they're a truck driver, obviously they're not going to get that job. So we can kind of help screen some of those out for them if they're using our service. So there are a lot of things that we can do, and things that we've been finding some success with, like individual employers at a time instead of doing like big events. So that's another thing.
Okay. Are there costs for the companies to do these?
No. Now, if you came to us 10 times a year, we would probably eventually have to charge something. But if you come in and you're doing it once or twice a year, I mean, we're happy to bring them in. We want to help get people placed. We have people that we want to place. We know there are people out there that need, you know what I mean? So no, normally I would say no. Like I said, if it became a lot, yes, but yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. You know, I appreciate your time and giving some
Yeah.
highlights on what Southwest Corner Workforce Development Board can do for our manufacturers. So thank you.
Yes, thank you.